Welcome to Retrobot, the YouTube channel where we feed a friendly space robot a diet of pure nostalgia. I'm Clay, and tonight we are gonna rock out with our... Oh, wait, we're not gonna do that thing. We're going to hang out with our... No, we're not doing that either. We're gonna rock out with our electro scrambler gun out. Maybe? It's the Blaster live stream. We've got so much Blaster here that it could choke a camel. I know Joy was watching UHF, and that just reminds me, we have a word from our sponsor. There's just one place to go for all your spatula needs. Spatula City, a giant warehouse of spatulas, thousands to choose from. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I do loves me some UHF, so, UHF. If I weren't doing this right now, I'd be watching UHF. So, not UHF, that's a completely different movie. So, tonight, before we get started, I would like to toast everyone in the chat. So, without any further ado, a toast to Rob! Oh, that is good. Yeah. A toast to Joy. A toast to Brick. A toast to Joy. A toast to Tie Guy. A toast to Joy. A toast to Carlini. A toast to Starhound. A toast to Setoyami! A toast to Nathan, Connie, Lyric, and Cadence Fillion! That one's for you, Nate. That one's for you, Connie. That one's for you, Lyric. And that one's for you, Cadence. And a toast to Joy! Of course, a toast to Retrobot. Are you even paying attention? He's not even paying attention. Whatever. And last but not least, a toast to the lovely and talented Monica. And just in case I forgot, a toast to Joy. So, what's with all these spatulas around here? We got spatulas everywhere. It's crazy spatula city around here. Anyway, so tonight's word is that. So, if I end up saying, that, then I'll do this. And I'll toast Joy. See, what you don't know is that I've got a little prompter here, and Joy's name on it was on it more than once. See? Behind the scenes stuff, only here on Retrobot. So, Nathan says he's been up for 36 hours. Dude, sleep! Go! Oh, you know what? Just keep watching. We will provide you with sleep. Yes, we will. So, anyway, before we jump into blasting at you with Blaster, let's do a little show and tell. So last week, I was over at D&E Collectibles. They're not a sponsor. But, boy, we do love them here on Retrobot. And I got Dark Scorpenoc from the Transformers Cybertron line. This is a slight retool of Transformers Energon Scorpenoc. And I love this mold. It is such a cool design. Yeah, of course, it looks like a Scorpion, but it's like a Scorpion construction vehicle with payloader shovel claws and shovels in front of the treads. And yeah, it has treads instead of legs and you know, it's a very, very cool thing. It has a spaceship mode, a robot mode, which of course gives you a robot that has a scorpion tail coming out the back and big scorpion claws. It's such a neat toy. I love it so much, and I saw it, and they hadn't even put it on the shelves yet. You know, it was one of those things where it's like, hey, you know, we got a whole bin of this stuff that just came in. Is there anything in there you're interested in? And it's like, maybe I really want this to be mine. So that's what happened. Now it's mine. And so, you know, at some point, I think we're gonna have to do a Scorpenoc live stream, because we've got us a lot of Scorpenoc. So we got that. Let's see. We've oh, I'm so sorry, Ty Guy. Thank you for correcting me. I'm sorry, everyone. I forgot to toast joy. A toast to joy. So let's see. The other show and tell item, sort of. I am finally taking some time off from work, and I am the goal is to spend the next couple weeks clearing out the basement and finally building my studio. And I know it seems like we've got this big professional environment here with this set built out of boxes, but you know, I'd kind of like to have room to properly show Titans, and maybe something that's more easily configurable for board games and video games and stuff like that. And also, it would be nice if we got our dining room back. That would be nice. Yeah, Monica is nodding emphatically with that. So yeah, we are going to be taking a break, and no live stream next week, right? Oh, wait, yes. Oh, yeah, that's... Okay, so we do have a live stream next week, but then after that, we're probably going to take a little bit of a break so that we can really focus on getting things set up. And ideally, fingers crossed, when we come back, things will maybe look a little sharper, and we'll be able to give you better images of toys and stuff like that. So let me go ahead and show you something else that's really, really cool. We have... Monica just did this. This is awesome. This is the Blaster Master t-shirt that is on our TeePublic site, and we do have a link to our TeePublic site in the description. Show it on the bright green. I want to see it on the bright green, because I was thinking of getting a green one. Let's see. There. Yeah. What do you think? Do you like that? There's also that kind of cyan color that I think would look good. But yeah. So, yeah, Blaster Master t-shirt. Everything is 40% off for the next 7 hours. So, yeah, if you're interested in a Blaster Master t-shirt or any of Monica's other brilliant designs, then please check out our TeePublic site, because you know, you can get cool stuff, and they'll give us like pennies on the dollar for everything that you buy, which helps support the channel. So yes, and I think that's all the stuff. Okay, that is all the stuff. So now let us do a little button pressing here and a little magic, and boom, we have blasters everywhere. There's blasters here, and our blasters have blasters. It's like Blasterception. Wow. So let's go ahead and clear out some of these blasters, because there's a little bit too much blaster in my blaster. Let me see. I could put that back there, And I could put this one, let's just slide this one back over here. And rewind, just kind of move out of the way, rewind. There we go. And then we will move this blaster, and we'll move all of these. We got a bunch of these. We got a lot of blaster here. And you know, why not? Because Blaster is one of the most memorable members of the Autobots from the Gen 1 series. He has been around for a long time, and of course he has the dubious honor of being the counterpart to Soundwave, who is arguably one of the most popular and one of the most fondly remembered Generation 1 Transformers characters of all time. You know, like, whenever you talk to anyone who grew up in the 80s, even people who weren't Transformers fans, everybody loved Soundwave. And so, in 1986, they introduce Blaster, and he turns into a boombox, and, you know, I mean, let's face it, Soundwave turned into a box. Oh, I said the thing! I said the thing! A toast to joy! So, there we go. So Soundwave turned into a box with a cassette door. He was blue. He had buttons molded in, but I had a micro-cassette recorder when I was a teenager, young preteen. I don't know. You know, like when I was younger, I had a micro-cassette recorder that I got at Radio Shack. And I saw lots of micro-cassette recorders in the Radio Shack catalog, and none of them looked anything like Soundwave. Soundwave, we all knew he was supposed to be a micro-cassette recorder because he was rectangular and had a cassette door, and that's really all we needed for our imaginations. But Blaster here actually looks like what he's supposed to turn into. I mean, look, the speakers and buttons, the way that they would normally be arranged. And sure, back in the 80s, you didn't see many red, you know, what these were. Oh, Rob S. says Blaster was from 1985, not 1986. Okay, so you are correct, Rob, because now that I think about it, he was very prominently featured from Season 2 of Transformers on into Season 3. Season 2 was 1985, so, yeah. And, did I say the thing? Okay, so, a toast to joy. So, thank you, Rob. You are correct. It was 1985, not 1986. And so you have Blaster here, and he looks like the Thing. And, you know, back in the 90s, I saw things like this that were red. So, you know, eventually the rest of the world caught up with how ahead of the times the Transformers were, or in this case, Takara and then Hasbro. But so he looks more like what he's supposed to be, and his name is Blaster because, you know, he turned into a Blaster, and yeah, so and he was big. And he was red, and he talked with this cool DJ, like, "This is Blaster, blasting at you, look out, shout, wow, yeah, we can't even get a bottom 40 station out here, whoa," and so he was cooler than Soundwave, right? Nothing against Blaster. But let's be honest here. Cooler than Soundwave? No. I don't know why. All I do know is that Angry Vikings is here! A toast to Angry Vikings and joy! That one's for you, Angry Vikings. That one's for you, Joy, because I might have forgotten you earlier. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, Blaster, he had all of the elements that should have been, like, just a grand slam home run, knock it out of the park, and it should have been like, oh yeah, if you liked Soundwave, you should love Blaster. But you know what? At least to me, he was good. I liked him. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I didn't like him, but but you know what? Don, aka Brick, says it best. He says, Soundwave superior, Blaster inferior. Yeah, and you have to hand it to Mr. Uncrosomatic. So a toast to Dawn. So we do have Blaster here. In the Japanese release, I believe that there was actually a radio inside here, and the gun actually housed an earbud in this space, like it pulled out or something like that. But of course, for the American release, or maybe it was for the Diaclone version as part of the micro-change line, I'm a little bit fuzzy on where that divide happens for things that were released in Japan. Diaclone. So, so he would have been a working radio, and in some releases, like you can see that there's this panel in the back that if you remove it, you could put another cassette in there. I think I tried to remove it at one point, and I don't think I was successful, and I didn't want to scuff up Blaster any more than he was already scuffed up. So yeah, it's in there pretty good. But nonetheless, I did a video, which I should have put the link to the video in the description of this. Maybe I'll go back and do that after the live stream, where I fixed the door, because every Gen 1 Blaster that I've ever seen, you press the eject button and it doesn't open. You're lucky if it even kind of slightly kind of moves a little bit, and then you kind of have to pry at it and jiggle it to get it open, and then you end up not wanting to store any of the Autobot cassettes in there because you fear that you'll never get them out. Now, like I said, I did do I think it was a chill stream where I attempted to fix his door, and look at that! It works! It works really well! And see, that's another thing that ideally should have made Blaster cooler than Soundwave, because Soundwave's eject button was on his shoulder, and at least when I was a kid, every micro-cassette recorder that I had, the stop button was the eject button, and it was just like this. It was down here, you press that button, and then the door opens, but Soundwave just had a button on the top of the thing. So ideally, that should have been cooler, except since so many of these were assembled incorrectly, then, do we want to show that? We can show that. And you're gonna have to give me notes on this, because this is Twincast. So in Japan, after the Transformers series was canceled in America, it continued in Japan, and a repaint of Blaster was made in blue called Twincast. This is not really Twincast. This is Robot Radio, released in the US by various small companies, and it also had a working radio built into it. And you can see how similar these are to each other. I mean, similar size, similar styling. Now this guy, his cassette is actually a picture of a cassette inside there, and I don't think that this opens in any way. So I'll just for curiosity's sake, because Monica pulled him out, and it's like, hey, if you want to see what was on the market in 1985 competing with Blaster, it would have been Robot Radio, because this is Robot Radio. So Robot Radio sounds like the pirate radio station that I would have created pre-internet. It would have been Clay's Robot Radio, all robots all the time, bringing you all the hits that you never wanted to listen to. Come on, domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Thank you very much, oh, Mr. Roboto. That's right, we're listening to Mr. Roboto for the 47th time today. So there's just not a lot of songs out there about robots. So anyway, you bring the legs down. These things pivot around like that, and like that, and then you've got like pull-out feet, like they just slide out. They're just little slides, and then you've got the arms, which I kind of like the arms. The arms are cool. He's got sideways elbows, so he's kind of a brawler, a little bit of a He-Man look, and I respect this. It doesn't look very good, but I respect it. On the back of the handle, if you see, there's half of a face, half of the face. It's not like, it doesn't scream robot face. It's obviously there when you know that it's there, but then you flip these around and the face joins together and he's got a robot head. And so we've got a lot of articulation in the arms and not much articulation in the legs, but in the 1980s, articulation just wasn't a priority. They just didn't do it for the most part. But yeah, this would be Robot Radio, and he's pretty awesome. I wish that his cassette door opened. If I had a second one of these, I might be tempted to kit bash it so that it had the cassette door in the front, but that's okay. So Robot Radio is not Blaster, not actually twin cast, even though his colors are very twin castian. But we'll set Robot Radio aside for the moment. We have Blaster here. He's got his cassette door that actually opens thanks to some finessing and some lubricating, and you can check out that video. He also has sort of working buttons. Like, you can press these, you can press the buttons in the middle, and you can press this one, and then when you press that, this pops up. So, they did cool things here. Press that down, and then blap, and that one pops back up. I'm trying to look into the screen, and I keep getting my lefts and my rights mixed up while doing that. But so you can see that the buttons also work, which Soundwave didn't do. So this is cooler than Soundwave, right? No, it's not cooler than Soundwave. I don't know why Blaster is not cooler than Soundwave. Like, by all the points, it's almost like, okay, I think I know why it is. And I think it's the same reason why Rodimus Prime, and I'm not even going to talk about the toy, but just as a character, it's the same reason why Rodimus Prime was not cooler than Optimus Prime. Even though he was young, he was rebellious, he had flames on his chest. Same thing. It kind of feels like they're trying too hard. And if you're trying to be cool, you're not cool. I'm sorry. As an expert in not being cool, I feel like I have agency on this topic. when you're trying that hard, you know, when you're red and you're a DJ and you got all this stuff, then yeah, it's like, I am the cool Autobot. And when you're the self-proclaimed cool Autobot, then, I mean, and he is cool, but he's just not quite as cool as he's trying to be. Colleen called it just before you did. Blaster is trying too hard. So, yeah, you know what? Let me throw out a toast to Colleen. And you know what? Just in case, let's throw out a toast to Joy. Thank you, Colleen. And thank you, Joy. So let's go ahead and transform Blaster, because at this point I think that we've shown all of the features of this rectangle. It's a very nice rectangle. I especially like the handle that's built into it. I mean, this is... It looks good. It looks good. It looks like a cassette deck radio. See, I said without saying, you know, the thing. And so we're going to slide the black part of the handle over the grippy part. And we're going to pull out the legs. And then see how the handles already just want to slap right into the legs. And see, they fit very nicely. That's a nice transform. You know, it just fits in, and then the legs come down, and then they collapse, and then you just flip out the feet. Little flipper feet. See, like not... There's no robot boot there. He's not going to kick anybody. He's got spatula feet. He got his feet from... There's just one place to go for all your Blaster Feet needs. It's Blaster Feet City. Blaster Feet City. A giant warehouse of... Never mind. So yeah, he's got spatula feet. And then you've got the arms, which pull out. And then you just rotate at the shoulders. And then you can slide them back in. So we'll slide that. Slide that. And then you extend at the elbow, and of course he's got fists that are in there, and you do the same thing on the other side. You extend at the elbow, and then he's got his little handle things that allow you to get the fists. And then I think that there is that it? Is that there should be a twist. I think there's a twist. Oh wait, the fists themselves twist. So yeah, there's a twist in the fist. And we are going to twist in the fist. So that gives him a twist in the fist. And then the head is just the same thing that you would do with Soundwave. You flip it up and rotate it around. And there he is. Look at that. He is Blaster. And then you give him... You flip it up. And you hear me say that I just said again. That's how cool it is. And you give him his electro scrambler gun. And, you know, he's got a good-looking robot mode. Articulation. What articulation, right? I mean, his shoulders move, his wrists twist, his head can look all around. Look at that. He can be like, whoa, what's going on? What's up there? What's in front of me? What's to the left and what's to the right? I'm just looking around because that's the only thing that I can really do. He can't walk. He can't lift his legs. He is a brick. He's a brick. And you know, Soundwave, he had backwards knees. But he had elbows. I think that was another thing that helped him. I think the darker colors helped him. I think that the voice, I mean, let's face it, that voice that they did with Frank Welker and then modifying it and doing everything, I mean, that was iconic. But let's just...
Blaster! Aw, shit. What's up, you mother...
Very good timing on that. Very good. So you compare Blaster to Robot Radio, and honestly, like, even though this is the Hasbro toy, there is nothing about this toy that makes it overtly superior, with maybe the exception of the split robot face. You know, he does have a split robot face. You could say, hey, I don't like that he has a division in his face, and you know, that's how he was designed. It's not a flaw. It's a feature, not a flaw. Literally, it's a feature. But yeah, so Blaster clearly has the better head, but and Blaster has the working buttons. But other than that, Robot Radio Guy, he's got more articulation, and his robot mode really, it's comparable. It's comparable for a third-party product. This one is also heavier because it's got batteries in it and radio components, even though it does not work. I have not gotten it to work. At some point, I will try. I tried at one point to see if I could get it to work. I didn't go into it very, very deeply, but I'm not an electronics. As anybody knows from the tragedy of my ColecoVision, I'm not actually an electronics guy. And yet I've done electronic things. I just shouldn't. It's ill-advised. That's really, that's what it is. I am an ill-advised electronics guy. Yeah! So there we go. Notice, if nothing else, Robot Radio Guy has feet. Like he has legitimate feet. So, if anything else, Blaster at least has feet envy. And probably elbow envy. So yeah, you have Blaster here, and now when he was released in 1985, he also didn't come with cassettes. I think that's another thing that hurt him. Like when you bought Soundwave, he came with Buzzsaw. And even though Buzzsaw got virtually no attention on the TV show, I think he might have shown up once, maybe, in the TV show. Blaster, when he was he wasn't even introduced in 1985. Like so many of those Wave 2 Transformers, he just showed up. It was like Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Jazz, Prowl, and the rest of the Wave 1 cast came back to Autobot base, and suddenly their numbers had doubled, and it's like, okay, you know what? We're just not going to talk about it. Okay, all you guys are Bruno. We are not going to talk about Bruno. So he shows up, but he doesn't have any cassettes. We wouldn't see any cassettes until 1986 in Transformers the movie, when they had that admittedly, it's a fantastic scene where you have Rumble and Frenzy. You actually got Rumble and Frenzy, which was a rarity in itself because you didn't see Frenzy very often either. And you got Ratbat. They unveiled Ratbat. And Rumble, Frenzy, Ravage, Ratbat. That's the 4 that they used in that scene. And it's like, first we crack the shell, and then we crack the nuts inside. And they drop in, and Perceptor's like, run, Blaster! Save yourself! And he's like, no way! 2 can play! And then he does the thing, and sick him! And then, and then he has 4 cassettes, and then poor Perceptor's just caught in the middle. And so we have... I don't have all of Blaster's cassettes. They're really expensive. They're just... It's hard to want to pay what you are expected to pay for a Gen 1 Blaster cassette, just because it's like, just to have it. I need Ramhorn and I need eject. I don't have Ramhorn and I don't have eject, but I do have Razor Claw here, or Steeljaw. Yeah, Razor Claw is a Predacon. That's a different guy. So, and I guess I could use like the other camera. I've got this camera. I paid a lot of money for the camera, so I could, actually show stuff on the camera. Let's show stuff on the camera. So that's Blaster. That's him in his robot mode. Let's pan back just a little bit so that we can see a little bit more blaster blasting at you. And, you know, we can turn him that way, get him into the light. And then here is Steeljaw in his cassette mode. And Steeljaw, let's see if we can get the camera to look at Steeljaw. Hey camera. If I cover everything except for Steeljaw, will you focus it on Steeljaw? Yes, you will. So Steeljaw has a sticker, and notice that the printing on the sticker was designed incorrectly. They have this area right here that is obviously intended to represent the mane of the lion. But the mane of the lion is over on this side. And see, it can only be put on this side because on the other side they actually molded in the details to make the mane of the lion, and they even have a square recessed area for the rub sign. So Steeljaw, like somebody didn't get a memo. You know, so either the engineering was flipped or the artwork. I mean, the artwork wasn't even flipped because notice the letters are correct, but this sticker just don't work. That's it. This sticker just don't work. Nonetheless, he does transform. He transforms very similarly to Ravage, and so we're going to put the mane up. We're going to pull the front legs down. We're going to pull out the lion head. We'll pull out the back legs. He does have 4 independent legs, which is very, very cool. And so you can spread the legs out into a more walky kind of configuration. And then the tail is in here if you can get it. There we go. And so, and he also extends his body, which Ravage does not do. So you got a lion, and he's a good-looking lion. He would be better looking if that main artwork were actually on the right corner of the cassette. You know, literally the right corner of the cassette. It's on the left. It's supposed to be on the right. Now, if you look at him from this side, he looks much better. And honestly, I'm not a fan of the foil stickers. I've never liked it. It's something that you just kind of have to accept with some of these toys. But yeah, his you know, the stickers, they're a little wrinkled. I'm fortunate that they're in as good of condition as they are. Of course, he does have all of the Gen 1 cassettes had extra pieces that you added, and so let's go ahead and give him his. I don't know if these are supposed to. Maybe these are supposed to be on the front. You know, I was. So you could have these on the front. And then, of course, they kind of cover the face, but then the wings are up on the shoulders where I would kind of expect them to be. But thinking in terms of, like, Ravage's guns, they always went on the back, so you could also put them back here. And, I mean, really, regardless of what the official canon version might be, if you've got this toy, you can put them wherever you want. I mean, it's your toy. You don't need. So, and Don says, "Hey, that rub sign is still working. Not bad for a G1." Rob says, "Roar! I am a lion." So, and yeah, well, Don, yeah, look at that. Look at that. That rub sign does still work. Look, and he is an Autobot. So, and my camera is saying, yeah, I'm not a macro camera. So there we go. So anyway, a toast to Don and Rob. Enjoy. So Steeljaw is cool. I mean, he's a lion, he's got wings, he's got guns, he's got a cool transform, he's got a mane, he's got, you know, he's put together just like Ravage, but is he as cool as Ravage? as cool as Ravage. I mean, come on! Ravage is awesome. He's a Black Panther thing, and you know, a cat, and he's always skulking in the shadows, and he was, even though he's just a little cougar thing, the Autobots could never seem to get rid of him for long, and so you know, the only thing I can say about it is that Christopher Remley is here. A toast to Christopher Remley. Enjoy. There we go. All right, so yeah, that is Steeljaw, and he is. I mean, this is cool. This is cool, no doubt about it. And I do. What? Just out of curiosity, what is the eBay price on a Ramhort? I can even show it on screen here if you pull it up. I'm just. I'm a glutton for punishment. because I probably don't really want to know, but I am kind of curious as to what the eBay price on a Ramhort is. Let's go ahead and show this. And $34. Okay, well there's one that's $18 with $6 shipping, $48, $50, essentially $50, $40, oh gosh, $116 for 3. Oh wow, that's $54.96 plus $8 in shipping. I mean, you put it in a bubble mailer. That's oh my gosh. Okay, well. So you see, I mean, I know this is a shocker, but I am not independently wealthy, and it's hard for me to justify like $30 to $60 for a Gen 1 cassette. So yeah, that's it's. You know, maybe at some point I'll get lucky and I'll see Ramhort, or maybe for a birthday or something. I don't know, but nonetheless, Steeljaw still very, very cool. Has really checking all the boxes and a great counterpart to Ravage. But is he as cool as Ravage? Well, I mean, come on, it would be like asking if somebody is as cool as Dwayne Johnson. Well, of course you're not as cool as Dwayne Johnson, because nobody is as cool as Dwayne Johnson. So yeah, that's Steeljaw. We've also got Rewind, and here's my trick. Okay, so you had two Autobot robot cassettes that were very, very similar. They're just repaints of each other, and the only real difference was that one was blue, one was black. And I am always forgetting which one's which. So here is how I have figured. This is my mnemonic device. So if anybody else has a hard time remembering which one is the black one and which one is the blue one, black goes back, and that's Rewind. You're welcome. So this is Rewind. Did you know that he was released in 1985? I don't know. Released in 1985, but didn't join the show until 1986, and didn't show up at all in season 2. Showed up a little bit in season 3. Major character in Transformers More Than Meets the Eye, which was then later retitled Transformers Lost Light, the IDW Comics series, and he was Conjux Endura with what? No. Cyclonus was the little white guy, Tailgate. It was Chrome Dome. So anyway, this is him. Now notice that even though he was released at the same time, he does not have stickers. They have just printed right on the cassette, and it looks great. Let me switch camera angles so that you can see. And here he is, and the camera. You know, I was kind of hoping that if I stalled for a minute, I could give the camera time to focus in on him, and the camera does not want to. So let me do this. I'll there. Okay. See, I just have to tell the camera to focus in on it, and it will. But look at how much better that looks. And look at that picture of tape inside there. I mean, that looks great. This thing, you know, obviously you can see the little lines where pieces go together, but if you're not looking that super close, it looks like a micro-cassette. It just looks like a micro-cassette. It looks great. This is one thing where the later cassettes in some ways were a little bit superior to the early ones because a lot of them had printed graphics rather than having foil stickers. So now the quality of the build, these ones, you know, unlike the Wave 1 cassettes, these just have plastic parts. There's no metal in here except for the screws. So we're going to twist and fold out the legs, and then we're going to flip out the feet. And then we are going to pull out the arms. The head just pops up, as you saw there. And then we pull and we pull and oh wait, here we go. So see, yeah, you would think that this is like a fist or something. It's not. This just twists around, and or no, it just stays there. So that's the hand for whatever. It's not much of a hand. It is not much of a hand, but those are his hands, and so not the worst robot mode, but certainly, you know, with these big cylinder things on his arms, and the and whatever these fists. I mean, those are not very good fists. Those are pretty bad fists. But other than that, you know, it's an acceptable robot mode. He's got shoulder joints. He can nod his head a little. He can angle his legs, and that's about it. You know, once again, articulation, not the primary function in Gen 1. He's also got these, so he's got these things, and so he's got guns. Pew 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 pew. And there he goes. So that is Rewind, and Rob says they also took the die-cast out of Frenzy in 1986 when he was paired with Ratbat, even though Ratbat had a die-cast chest. Huh. Who knew? So I guess if you end up with a Frenzy that doesn't have any die-cast metal, you know that is the Frenzy that was paired with Ratbat. And back in the day, I could never find Ratbat. It took me 30 years to get a Ratbat. Rob and Don say to plug the guns in the hole. Plug the guns in the hole. Well, I've got the guns in the hole. Unless there's a different hole, but yeah, it seems like the but the guns. Maybe they mean to like do one of these, like have the hands go out and put the guns on top. Is that what you guys mean? You know, you could do that. I don't like seeing the hollow part of the fists. So, and unfortunately, there's like a 20-second lag. So you won't even answer my question. Oh, sorry, they were doing the baby. Oh, plug the guns in the hole. So I'm sorry. Let me try that again. Put the guns in the hole. A toast to Rob and Don for both being on the same page. I apologize that I was not. So, that is Rewind, and if you want to know what Eject was like, he looks exactly like this, except blue. It's just blue. It's just a blue version of this. So, we got Eject. I do have a couple of other Autobot cassettes here. We have... So, and I like the way these things look in cassette mode. So let me go ahead and see if I can convince my camera to focus in on that, and then blip. So this is Grand Slam and Rain Dance. And so these were a 2-pack, and once again, we have the printed image. Now notice that this time they just went with 2-color printing. They've got black and they've got gray for Rain Dance, and they've got kind of a gold color and black for Grand Slam. They did not make like a photographic window in the middle. Honestly, I think it looks fine. Doesn't bother me one bit. Micro-cassettes were just little plastic boxes with wheels in them. They were usually made of clear plastic and had a label on them. But these things, they look like micro-cassettes. They do the job. Grand Slam, you can see that he's got some gaps in there. I actually kind of like the look. I mean, it's not convincing. No micro-cassette looked like that. But I don't know why. Because it's all faceted. I think that stylistically, I just like how that looks. So let me put Grand Slam down, and we'll just look at Rain Dance. One interesting thing about these two is they don't turn into animals. They turn, and they don't turn into robots, they turn into vehicles. So this is Rain Dance, and we just pull the sides out and swing them around, and then we bring this around to the back and plug it in here, and then you have this this little panel here, and it's going to go around there, and he becomes a little jet. See, he's a little jet, and you know, as little jets in this was probably this was 1988. So you know, a lot of the quality on Transformers toys in 1988 had really gone downhill, and I would say that for the most part, except that it doesn't have any die-cast metal. There's nothing wrong with this. It's not any. It's not really obvious as to where they would have done a lot of shortcuts with this. It still has a lot of little joints that make that transform work, and he still comes with 2 little guns that at one point in the history of this toy had been chromed, and then terrible things happened to my house and my Transformers collection when I was a child, resulting in the loss of chrome. At some point I'll hit them with some chrome paint, but it's not going to be the same. It's not. So anyway, that is Rain Dance. He got his little guns. He's pew pew. He's a little jet. And then you have Grand Slam here, who is cool and faceted looking, and then we have these little things here, and you have this little thing there, and that's going to swing around there like that, or yeah, like that, and then that is going to go in there like that. And you see he's got these little tiny gun things here that pivot out, and so he's like a little tank. He's just a little tank thing. There's some molded in detail that's barely there that kind of indicates tank treads. You can actually see it a little bit more under here where he's got the tank treads molded, and so of course he also came with 3 extra parts. So you take that there, you take this here, and you have this thing, which goes right in there, and that kind of allows you to stick that in between. Here, wait, let me get that one out of the way. I should have waited on that. So this goes here, and then that goes there to kind of retain everything, and now you've got a much bigger gun, which makes him look more tank-like. But, you know, even without the extra guns, he still looks like a little rectangle pretending to be a tank. Admittedly, he is... he's not a very convincing tank. Yeah, let's just... We'll call a spade. Grand Slam is no Warpath. He looks very much like rectangles that turn into a cassette, and the guns are doing the heavy lifting to really drive home the point. Hey, I'm a tank. Listen to me. I'm a tank. And I remember that in the bio for these guys, it said that they were a team, and when they would spy for the Autobots, then Grand Slam would be the audio recorder, and he would be the video. And while I respect the concept of, okay, you have multiple tracks, I mean, VHS cassettes were already in existence. They could have both audio and video. I do know that. Just to let you know. Oh, and Rob says, and they combine to form Grand Rain. Wait. So yeah, I was going to say these have an extra feature that the original cassettes do not do. They this was something that they were looking for more gimmicks in 1988, and the gimmick with these guys was that you could take Rain Dance here, and you pull the legs down, and you twist them forward. Let's see. Yeah, you twist them forward like this. There we go. And then you take Grand Slam, and you pull his treads down, and pull those down and turn them into arms. And now we have to take off all the guns that are on the turret thing. So let's take off the guns, and they're gonna want to fall, but I cut them in my lap. And then this goes back behind the head, and then you can aim these little guns forward, just like that. And then you stick the nose of the jet into the underside of the chest here, and then you fold this up, and boom, he's got arms. And then you can pull out fists. See, he's got fists. And then, if you want, you can even take these and you can put them in on the arms to give him some arm guns. And you can take these and you can put them on the back. And you could even do this if you wanted to give him some more gun action. And so this is Slam Dance. He has a combined form called Slam Dance. See, it's Grand Slam and Rain Dance. He's Slam Dance. Grand Rain. Grand Rainness. Emperor Grandia. Slam Dance. It's Slam Dance. And there he is. I always like this robot mode. Yeah, this is a decent robot mode. It looks good. Articulation 0. Like you got a little bit of twist in the legs, and you can sort of get him to sort of look like he's doing jumping jacks here, and that gun's gonna fall off his head every time. But that's it. He cannot lift his arms. He can't lift his arms. He can't lift his legs. He is a robot shape, and a robot shape alone. Now, what I used to do, because this would always fall out, is I would just put the gun back here, and then just do that. Yeah, that way it doesn't fall out, and you just kind of ignore it. But yeah, you know, it's... Again, in Gen 1... Articulation wasn't even a thought. It's not that that they would give you articulation when they could. It wasn't a concern, and certainly with this toy, it's not that, okay, his robot mode has bad articulation. It was like, hey, look, these are two cassettes that turn into stuff, but these ones combine into a robot. So, you know, they were taking the bar, which was here, and they were trying to nudge it up by adding a combined form. And that's, and you know, so that for what it is, at the time was cool. I mean, you know, I'm a sucker for combiners. I love combiners. You know, you show me a combiner, and I'm interested. And these guys, they combined decently. By today's standards, okay, a little sad, because there's just no articulation whatsoever, and the tank mode on Grand Slam is kind of phoned in pretty hard.
I guess that makes me the new leader!
It does not. It does not. But thank you for playing our game, Starscream. We have some lovely consolation prizes for you at home. So yeah, that is Grand Slam. I loved this toy when I was a kid because he did this, and this was his chosen mode a lot because when I was a kid, I couldn't get Blaster's door to open. So these guys didn't spend any time in his chest. They were combined together in a robot mode. He stood around and he looked like a robot. He had guns. So yeah, that was here. Let's give these guys their due. I've got to set stuff on the thing, except that they want to fall forward. And normally, if they want to fall backwards, and normally what I would do is I would stick the arms forward to kind of counterbalance it. But as you saw with Grand Slam, he can't do that. So here, let's put some guys here and put this guy here, and maybe. Oh, that's so good. Oh my gosh, that's an amazing shot. If I can fit it in frame, maybe we'll just kind of slide it back there. There we go. All right, now there we go. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's Blaster. It's Generation 1 Blaster with his pseudo army of cassettes that are not as cool as Soundwave. Sorry, Blaster. I mean, admittedly, it's a high standard to live up to, and you are cool in your own right, just not as cool. That's it. That's the thing. My camera is kind of leaning. I want my camera to be there. There. My horizon line is crooked, and let's brighten things up just a notch. I don't want to wash everything out, but it seemed a little dim. So there we go. So yeah, pretty cool. All things considered, pretty cool. But you know, Generation 1 was not done with Blaster. Oh no, no, no. It is time for the Master of Action. The guy with a name that is as rhythmic as his personality. Action Master Blaster! Bam! Yeah, look at that! He's got a big head on a little body. And he's got gun thing that he can't stand up while holding. But that's okay, because you can put this in and then you can stick it on his back. And now he won't be able to stand up without falling backwards, but that's also okay, because, oh, look at that! Look, yep, he's got the wings, and they do this. They do this! Huh? Oh, yeah! And, somewhere I have the pistol that comes with him. It's gotten mixed in with a lot of other pistols. We'll find it at some point, but honestly, he doesn't care whether he has it or not, because he can fly now. He's got a jetpack. He goes, and he's flying into the internet and being all action mastery. And let's go ahead and show him on the other view so that you can fully appreciate all of his blasterness. And come on, camera, focus in on him. You want to. There you go. Look at that. Okay. Let's have a reality check here. This is a sad looking guy. I mean, he's absurd. and I don't get me wrong, I actually really liked Action Masters. They were cheap. You would get them for like $2 or $3, and they were great army builders. And if your original Gen 1 version of a character was broken or in bad shape, or you just never got a certain character, then it was a great way to at least say, hey, I've got Blaster. I my other one is not working. But I have got this one, and it was okay. It was cheap. It was, the big sell was that it was cheap. I like that the wings do this. I like that. That's cool. And I like the idea of Transformers being able to have, like, weapons packs and backpacks and stuff like that. So, I liked that about Action Masters. But this is just, like, it's almost like they based this design off of some comedic childlike manga. He's almost like a super deformed Blaster with that very, very large noggin and the big pouty lips. He looks a little bit like Orion Pax. His mold detail is not super sharp. His colors, admittedly, the grays are kind of yellowing with age. But ultimately, even when this guy was new, he was not a super impressive character. He just wasn't. That's he's Blaster, and he's Gen 1. But 1990 was a rough year for the Gen 1 Transformers, and Action Master Blaster, well, at least he's called Action Master Blaster. Now, I'm just going to say that if there was a candidate for an elite Action Master where with a few simple moves they could get him to approximate a transform, I mean, it wouldn't have taken them much to get him to turn into a little box. It really would not have taken much. And I feel like that's kind of a missed opportunity. I know the Elite Transformers didn't even show up in the US, but I feel like this would have been a good one to make him turn into a rectangle. I mean, come on, Hasbro! You could have made that turn into a rectangle! You didn't manage to make him look like Blaster anyway! At least make them turn into a rectangle. We're not asking for much. So yeah, that is Action Master Blaster from 1990 with his flight pack. And that's what we had for Blaster from 1985 to 1990. So let's go ahead and let's set our blasters aside and his cassette armies aside. There we go. And so we have okay, wait here. Oh, that's the Rain Dance card. I have note cards, by the way. Just so that you know, it helps sometimes to have note cards. So let's see. In 2008, we have Transformers Universe, which there was. So this was a repaint of Transformers Cybertron Soundwave, and I'm going to show you Transformers Cybertron Soundwave. So here we go. We've got, let's just do that. And there we go. This is Transformers Cybertron Soundwave. And I can even, wait here, let me do a thing. All right. Because I've got stuff here just for showing stuff. So I might as well show stuff. And we'll raise the camera. Oh, look at that. We're raising the camera, getting a better angle, and then we can zoom in. Woo! Oh, there it is. Oh, look at that. See, this camera does focus when I want it to, every now and then. So we have a stealth bomber version of Soundwave. And, of course, historically, this is the big problem with both Soundwave and Blaster as we moved out of the 80s into the 90s and beyond. It's that their iconic forms and the gimmick that they are best known for of having these cassettes that pop out of them, it doesn't work so well when the technology is completely obsolete. And even in 2008, the cassettes were dead. And so they look at Soundwave, it's like, okay, well, he's the information guy. He's the intelligence guy. He's got his army of spies. And so can we play off of that? So the idea of a stealth bomber this is a stealth fighter. Oh, a stealth fighter. I'm sorry. Even though he came with bombs that he dropped, that was the gimmick. But I guess you're right. This is the stealth fighter. So they're like going for the stealth thing. And it makes sense. It does make sense conceptually. And I'm not hating on that as an idea. And so we have this version of Soundwave, and then he came with some weapons which would transform into what, if I remember the box label correctly, it said that these were bombs. They're little hexagons. We got hexagon-shaped barrel type things, which hexagons are cool. And they've got translucent plastic, so that's cool. And then we've got this is another one of his weapons, and that's also got translucent plastic, and it folds up. And then if you want to turn it into his weapon, then you fold things out. So we do that, and then we have that, and that's so that it can be held, or it can be pegged into a hole, and it makes guns, huh? So that's cool. And it is cool. You know, I'm not even being facetious. That's neat. I like that. And then we've got this one, and it does this thing. Here, wait, so you grab this and you just flip these. These are in tandem, and they go around like that. And then you've got that, and then you got that. So it's like a double barrel thing. And then you've got this, and so now he can hold it. And so that's cool. See, that, you know, that's a cool looking gun. So we got two cool looking guns. Very cool. That turn into a cool geometric shape. So you know, that's cool. And then you have the planet key activated bomber door, which, you know, you press that and look at that. See? It drops the thing. And so we had this, and oh, what was his name? Was it the Machiavellic? Oh wait, no! The Machiavellic is there in the chat. A toast to the Machiavellic! Welcome, Machiavellic! Oh, by the way, Machiavellic, toast joy. So, toast joy. It's an in-joke. You weren't here for it, but that's okay. I guess this is, this of course would be Laserbeak right here. Okay, so that's Laserbeak, and Laserbeak turns into what I guess is a bomb or bomb casing, you know, whatever. It's a hexagon. And you know what? I'm okay with this. It's cool. It's a neat shape, and it fits really neatly into the door. So that's cool. Let's go ahead and let's turn Laserbeak into Laserbeak. So you pull the head out, you pull the wings out. Now look at what they did here. They've got joints in the wings all over to make really neat looking bird wings. Look at that. Huh? That's neat. And then we have this tail that folds up like that. And hey, camera, are you going to focus on this? Come on. You know, throw a guy a bone here. There we go. All right. So yeah, I'm talking about how cool these wings are, and you can't see them because it's all blurry. And then you have the feet, which pull down here and kind of flip around. And look at that. I mean, that is a neat looking bird. That is a great version of Laserbeak. I mean, he's got posable wings. You know, he can flap his wings. There's pivots here, so you know you can get him into different positions. You can get the legs to go forward. You can get the legs to go back. He's just I really like this version of Laserbeak, and yeah, he's a lot of fun. This Laserbeak is easily the best part of this toy, honestly. You know, it's just really cool. I wish they would have done a Ravage. Like I would have gladly bought a Ravage version, you know, that turned into a bomb. I never saw a Ravage. I don't think they did a Ravage. I could be wrong, but I don't think they did. I think that Laserbeak here is the only one that they did, which is a little bit of a shame because you know, this was cool. So yeah, that's Laserbeak, and then we've got Soundwave here, and there we go. Let's go ahead and bring Soundwave over here so I don't have to lean over the camera. You know, I do some weird things to my back when I'm leaning over that. I'm hoping to fix that with the new studio. Probably won't get fixed. We'll see. So you have the stealth fighter thing, and just taking a close look at this, the vehicle mode is, what's the word I'm looking for? Ugly as shit. I'm sorry. It's look. There's just stuff. Like it doesn't. it doesn't look, like things are crammed in there. And, you can sort of see how stuff is sort of supposed to go, but even when it's all squished together as tightly as it'll go, it doesn't quite look like everything gels. It looks like a mass of stuff all over, and it kind of defies the whole stealth fighter look, which is usually very, very flat. A lot of flat angles and seamless looking surfaces, and this ain't no seamless looking surface. There's just look at the back. There's so much stuff going on in there, and so many gaps, and so many holes, and so many joints, and so much just stuff. It's just not a very good looking alt mode. I'm sorry, it's just not. And it's a lot of parts that fold together kind of awkwardly to make a triangle. It does make a triangle. Good job on the triangle. So let's go ahead and just turn this mess into a robot, and we'll see if it gets better from there. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. So, anyway, we're going to pull up the cockpit panel here. We've got a cockpit panel, and you can see it's on one of his arms. And we've got some flaps there that can pull up. And then we've got his legs here that are tucked into this pointy nose cone thing. So, they're just pegged in to a little peg here on the side. So you just pull them out and that releases them. And then you've got the whole lower half of the body that is on this linkage right here. This little piece, there's kind of a double hinge happening here. So it's going to swing around here, but before you can swing it all the way, you need to pull this little flap out. This is kind of a cod piece. So we're just going to fold that forward and then let this stuff go forward like this. Just like that. And see, now it's going to look like he's just sitting on his butt. And so we can bring the legs straight down. And now we can fold the cod piece down, and there's a little nub, and that kind of there. Once it clicks, everything holds in. It does click nicely. It clicks nicely. And then we can take these little flaps and fold them down. You can rotate the legs, give it a little bit of a spread. There you go. And also there's a joint there, so you want to straighten the legs just like that. And then this is a Cybertron toy, so he's got the claw feet, which, like I said before, I like claw feet. Claw feet made figures stand up and kept them from falling over. So, and these ones are actually pretty nice in that this is definitively a heel and that's definitively a foot. So that's pretty good. Now you have this whole mess here. So we've got this arm, and it's also on this kind of double jointed linkage. You see how that moves like that? Well, this is going to move out and away. So we're just going to move it out and away. And then you see that the other arm is tucked in there. We can actually push from behind and pull this whole thing out. And see, the nose cone's going to come with that. And we're going to move that out and away. Just like that. And now the whole thing is going to swing around like that. And then from here, we can click those shoulders in against the chest. And now you put the arms into a more natural position. You can kind of... So this panel, the wings don't have any joints on them. These wings are just one big, massive, molded thing. And I think that that's one of the things that hurts this toy the most, is that there's nothing that you can do with them. They're just big, and they're big and up there. So they're in the way. This panel, you can kind of get it behind there and just do that to kind of get it out of the way. And then on this side, you have his arm, and he's got this nose cone thing. And you can just sort of do the same thing so that the nose cone is sort of behind the wing. You can fold the tails flat, and then this is Soundwave. That's That's his robot mode. And let's go ahead and give him his guns, because the guns are cool. Let's put this gun. This is sort of a rifle looking gun. So sort of a rifle. So we'll put that one there. And then he's got a little hole right up here in the shoulder, if you can see it. Right there. Right there. And yeah, right there. There it is. So you do that, and then you take this peg and you just peg it in right there, and it's like, oh, it's sound. You look, it's Soundwave. He's got the shoulder thing, and he's got a gun, and he's got a chest door, and you can take the planet key to open the chest door, and you put it in the back here, and oh, look at that! You can open the chest door. You just need the planet key, and then you could fold up Laserbeak, and you can rotate these around and kind of fold the head in and cram and fold things and fold and cram and fold, and I'm doing a terrible job turning Laserbeak back into a barrel. There's a lot going on here. All right, so there we go. So we got the feet tucked up by the head, and then we've got the kind of these doing whatever they do. They kind of do this, and this kind of does this. There's so many little flaps here, and I really respect the number of flaps that they were willing to use. Oh wait, here. Okay, so I overfolded the tips. So there we go. We don't want to overfold the tips. So there we go. And he's like a little puzzle. And so you have Laserbeak like that. And for that matter, any of his guns, when folded up into the hexagon shape, can also go into the chest door, which is cool. And so you just put that in there like that. And I love how that holds that. I mean, that's cool. That's cool. And then you close that and you pull out the planet key. Or if you just put the planet key in part way, but don't click it all the way, then the chest door will stay open, which is nice. Probably the thing that I liked least about the Cybertron series as a whole was that these planet keys, that if you couldn't do something like that, like put them in halfway and get them to stay, there was nowhere to put them. On most of the toys from Transformers Cybertron, the planet keys were just an extra easily lost piece that didn't integrate into the toy in any meaningful way. So for a lot of them, you'd stick them halfway into the thing because you don't want that play feature always to be triggered, and hope that it stays. But even this, it just kind of sticks out. So I really wish that they had designed these with like a peg or something inside, or like if they had a 5mm peg in here, you would have been able to just store it on his back, and that would have solved it. And they could have done stuff like that. There was that one character that had like a little rectangular slot like on his leg or something that allowed you to carry the planet key. And I can only think of the one that actually had dedicated planet key storage. And to me that was just a couple Armada repaints that had planet key with a peg. Well, I know that the small Optimus Prime had a planet key that had a Minicon peg, because instead of changing Optimus Prime in order to make his jiggling arms action work, they just put a Minicon peg on the inside of the planet key, so you just plunk the planet key on top of him and then use it to activate his jiggle mode. But even that wasn't dedicated storage. No, there was one other character that had like a rectangular thing on his leg or something that you could stick the planet key into just to carry it. And I can only think of that one, but I don't even know what the name of the character was. So So anyway, let's go ahead and I'll show this on the other camera because you know you want to see this. This is important. His legs. See the joint in his leg is kind of weak, so it very easily goes crooked, and you don't want it to go crooked. But let's just show Soundwave here. We'll stand him up, and we will press the button, and there he is. There is Cybertron Soundwave. Let's pull back just a little bit, and his the claw feet aren't doing their job. Let's try and get him. Come on, Soundwave. You can do it. You can do it. Here, let's move this. Oh, there. And look at the camera. Come on, don't be a baby. There we go. There. We'll kind of put his arms forward so that he wants to be standing, and we'll look at him a little bit more straight on so that you can really take it all in. There he is. Some good light piping on the head. Yeah, the light piping on the head is not bad. You can't really tell from this angle, but he does have light piping on the head. Translucent purples look really good. His gun is being a little bit funny. Let's undo the funniness of the gun. There. So don't fall backwards. See, and but gosh, those wings are so tall. One other thing that I didn't show you is that he has these 5mm holes up here, and I believe that you can actually perch Laserbeak on the top of his wing if you wanted to do that for some reason. Let's go ahead and zoom in just a little bit. Okay. So we've got Guntail. And Guntail actually has planet key storage. Look, they actually put planet key storage. Snarl, huh? He doesn't look like a Dinobot. No, you know, back in the days of the Cybertron series, there were a lot of characters that had names that had nothing to do with their Gen 1 counterparts. Snarl here is one of those. He's got a gun for a tail, but look at that. He's actually got dedicated planet key storage on this leg right there. And so you just plug that right down into there, and that way, so you know when you want to activate the feature, you plug it in the back of his head, and he does this, which is really cool. And see, you know what I'm noticing? So this doesn't lock. A lot of the planet key features were some kind of spring-loaded weapons deployment or something like that, that once you put the planet key in, the feature activated and it was done. But notice that with Snarl, it's as soon as you let go, it goes back. So he gets this. That is why they decided to give you planet key storage for this figure and none of the others, because the planet key can't be held in there. So yeah, thank you. I'm really amazed that you found him. So anyway, going back to Soundwave, let's just take a closer look so that you can really see everything that's going on here. You know, his colors are nice. And they tried to do some cool things. He really wants to fall, I can just tell. The shoulder cannon thing really wants to droop forward a little bit. The wings are enormous. The wings are a problem. He just... You take a character that in his most iconic form is an assemblage of rectangles that turns into a rectangle, and then you turn him into a guy who's now a triangle with very, very skinny legs. And he still has sort of a boxy body, but then he has these giant wings. And, you know, as kind of an homage character, as kind of a legacy character, he just doesn't really look like Soundwave. And I like the design that they have here on the chest. I like the way that they integrated the chest door, but it just seems like clashing angles. You know, he lacks design cohesion and consistency. It's like the boxy parts don't gel with the triangles that are everywhere, and just the overall form of the robot is that of something with kind of skinny legs. He doesn't look particularly stable because he's not. And then of course there's the Planet Key integration, which, hey, you know, since the Planet Key gimmick was the thing in Cybertron, then it makes sense that they would use that for the gimmick of the chest door. That being said, I would be perfectly happy with a button. I would be happy with a button. I'm sorry. So we have Soundwave here, and he's only okay, and that's a hard thing to say when you consider that this is the first version of Soundwave to be released. Well, okay, there was also Action Master Soundwave in 1990 also, which, you know, we won't talk about. But so, you know, it's been 18 years by the time that this comes out. Well, maybe like 15 years, something like that. I forget when Cybertron happened, but he's got full articulation, but it's awkward because of the giant wings. So, you know, he's got shoulder movement, and he's got a bicep joint here, and he's got an elbow joint. But boy, that wing just gets in the way of everything as I try to move his arms around. And same on this side, because you've got the fighter kibble that's just hanging off of the arm and not really integrated in a meaningful way. You've got the legs, which, once again, we've got good articulation. You know, you can move the legs out, you can move them in. You've got a functional knee joint, ideally. It doesn't want to go, but there's a knee joint in there, and I don't want to force it. So, and then you've also got a broken shin joint, so that if you want to make it seem like he's got broken shins, you can do that. And that's not really very good. And then he's got, you know, his pivoting leg a little bit, which admittedly kind of makes him want to fall over. It's hard for me. I hate to hate on a toy. And I'm not completely hating on this toy, because it does have some cool features, but overall it doesn't quite work. It just doesn't quite work. I feel like oh gosh, you know, the problem is that it took them like 1 million pieces just to get this to work. So adding more joints to make these wings do something, that's, I understand why they didn't. You know, you have to stop at some point, but it seems like the design just, they're fighting their way through the design to make every piece of it work. And in the end, they met their goals, but they didn't quite kill it. You know what I mean? They just didn't kill it. And so you might be thinking, okay, well, you're showing a Soundwave, but this is a Blaster live stream. That's not Blaster, that's Soundwave. Well, you're right. What we need now is our SpecTech decoder. Okay, this is one of the Earthrise map things, but here, okay, so there we go. Yeah, Blaster was exactly this. Blaster was this toy as part of Transformers Universe. It was just a recolor. No remolded parts. It was just a red version of this. And so now that we've got our red tech spec thing there. Okay, see he's red now, and that makes him Blaster. No new head sculpt. Nothing. It was this toy, and I didn't get it because, as you can tell, I wasn't super excited about the Soundwave version. So I didn't bother getting the repaint of a toy that I honestly just wasn't all that wild about. Yeah. Of course, Blaster also came with a recolor of Laserbeak called Block Rock. So here we go. It's Blaster with Block Rock, Transformers Universe 2008. That's it. That's it. Yeah. That's all I got. So yeah, I'm gonna set him aside because that takes us up to 2008, which means that we can move forward to a better version of Blaster, I think. And let's just go ahead and get him in the camera. There we go. We're gonna do this. Oh yeah, I've got. See, I got my viewfinder here, and I got my camera here, and I've got my mouse down here, and I can just click the thing, and I can go boom. Oh, look at that! Look at that! He's like an armored SUV thing with gold rims. I mean, yeah, he's got gold rims. He's like, I'm Blaster, and I've got gold rims and a gun on top, and I'm cool, and you know, I like this vehicle. I'm gonna say I like this vehicle. It's obviously a Cybertronian whatever, but I'm convinced that it is a Cybertronian whatever. I know what they're doing with it. I'm not fooled. I'm not fooled. But this is a nice attempt at an updated design. The Stealth Fighter just didn't work. And maybe it's because the inherent shape of the Stealth Fighter just didn't lend itself to the right kind of geometry that would make for a good robot figure, and certainly not a good robot figure that represents the character that we think of as Soundwave or Blaster. And so we have this. This was Transformers Universe Autobot Blaster from the Fall of Cybertron video game, and he came with Steeljaw. So, you know, you have this right here. Oh, I think that, yeah, are these? Oh, wait, here, I have to zoom in on this. Is that? Those are Autobot signs in the middle of the hubs, sort of. They are, yeah, those are Autobot hubs. Oh man, I want those for my car. Man, that's sick right there. Some gold hubs with Autobot signs for the centers. I mean, yeah, you know what? That's kicking. That is kicking right there. So, I mean, he had me at hubs. So we'll do this. I keep making the mistake of looking at my computer screen here, and there's a delay between the computer screen and when I'm moving, so I keep like moving the camera up too far, and then it's up too far, and then I move it down, and I move it down too far because I'm looking at the screen and not at the viewfinder. Bad me. Boombox! A toast to joy! All right. Oh, I'm pretty much killing that. All right. So, oh, what, this? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, so Monica was being very subtle in how she reminds me, and then I didn't pick up on it because I was worried about my drink. And, you know, I mean, obviously, priorities. I mean, I'm doing a lot of talking here. I need lubrication on these golden vocal cords so that you can hear these smooth jams. That's what we're doing, smooth jam. We're not doing smooth jams. I apologize. So anyway, one little undocumented play feature is that this little thing right up here, that just happens to be a seat sized perfectly for Diaclone guys. That's actually a Zoid guy, but it's pretty close to the size of a Diaclone guy. And so he can sit in the seat. So he's got a gunner position. I mean, that's pretty cool. That is I need to get some genuine Diaclone so that I can get some of those little dudes. And like I think there's some modern ones that look really cool. I need to get some of those. So anyway, you got this attack vehicle. It's got these spiky bumper things. It obviously looks like it's all armored. There are no windows except for the cassette door front that's now in the job of a windshield. So, you know, it's a neat thing. I like what they did with the back here, with the way that these are the robot legs and they wrap around, but I like what they did from this view, and I like the way that the legs match up with the arms that are folded into the sides here. This is a nice design, and yeah, it is a Cybertronian WTF, but as Cybertronian WTFs go, I'm okay with it. I am okay with it. It's fun. It is what it is. You just kind of have to take it as it is and just accept it. So let me take off my little Zoid guy because I don't want to lose him. And we'll take off the gun here, which I'm just going to assume that it's an electro scrambler because that is Blaster's historic weapon. And here's the thing. This guy, they sold more discs. He had discs, like they were data discs, I guess. And so you could get 2 packs of additional data discs. And they came in these cases, and these are cool. And so we got all these. You see, I didn't miss out on these. I got these, and I got him, and then you open this up, and you can open it this way, but ideally you're supposed to pop it out in robot mode. But see there, he's got Steeljaw inside of him, and you can pop it out this way. We're gonna see if we can get this to work. This is supposed to, it slides forward, and then it pops the guy out, and then ideally this thing falls, and there's a little button on the bottom, and so it's supposed to land on that, and look at that! It transformed! It transformed automatically. I mean, that's actually pretty cool. It's a little bit awkward, and you have to do a little bit of futzing with it to get it to be sort of a lion thing, but the automatic transform feature sort of works. It sort of works. And so let's go ahead and show Steeljaw here. I'm just going to show him, and I'm going to do wait. I'm getting a message. I'm getting a message from my finger. Hold on for a second. We have a new person. Owen Dino is here. Whoa! He says, just saw this in my YouTube Explorer window. Oh, well, welcome, Owen Dino, and thank you for clicking on this from your YouTube Explorer window. So, everybody say hi to Owen Dino. Welcome, Owen Dino. So, I hope that you enjoy this. We're talking about Blaster over the years, Autobot Blaster, and we are up to Transformers Universe Blaster from 2012, based off of the Fall of Cybertron video game with, and then we were just looking at Steeljaw here, and Steeljaw is a little bit awkward looking. And that's not surprising. You know what? I feel like he's getting a little bit washed out. Let me turn down the exposure on this camera. Click maybe 2. Yeah, you know, everything else looks dim, but I can see the detail on him. So I'm gonna leave it like that, and then we'll click it up a little bit later. So he's lion-ish. You know, particularly in the front. The back end things kind of fall apart. You know, you don't. The back end is Bruno, and we don't talk about Bruno. So yeah. But he's still, for something that does this. Let's do. Okay, you fold that up, and you kind of take the head and the legs like that, and this goes like that, and then the back legs do this whole thing. It kind of does the splits here. Wait a minute here. Maybe I need to. There's, oh wait, gosh, getting it to go up. There's a thing here. There we go. Okay, so see, I didn't want to force it because it's all plastic, except for the rivets. It's all plastic. So yeah, you kind of have...
Boom. Inappropriate.
Thank you for that. So we've got that. We have to kind of let it drop down like this, then push these up and around, and then they can click together. There we go. And we'll lift this, get those to go in, and then he goes like that, sort of. Go on, get under there. There we go. All right. So he turns into that. And I guess it's supposed to be a data disk. It's a little bit fat for a data disk. Now, one thing I've noticed about my Steeljaw is that he doesn't like to stay a data disk. He really would rather be an awkward shaped lion than a data disk. And yeah, I put it together, and I'm having to hold him. And I don't know what happened, because to my knowledge nothing is broken in him. But if I don't keep him held like this, he tends to want to do that. Yeah, see that? They just don't want to click in. They just don't want to stay. And I don't know if that's a common problem with Steeljaw, but mine is definitely like that. But certainly, let's just go down here. Okay, and we're gonna let the camera do it. Okay, at this point I'm gonna increase the exposure so that you have a little bit more light. There we go. And look at that. He turns into it, and that's cool. Come on, that's cool. Oh my gosh. So Monica was just commenting to me that she thinks that's why they have the little boxes that they come with. Steeljaw doesn't have a little box. You know, he came with Blaster. Blaster is his little box. But they're really just primed to transform the moment that they eject. And but the other ones seem to hold together a little bit better. Steeljaw is the one that seems to have that problem the most. Nonetheless, he does that. This reminds me a lot of Bakugan. You know, the little geometric shapes that you throw them and they just automatically turn into critters. And Bakugan, let's see, was 2006, so it had already been around for quite a few years before this toy would have come out. But I can't help but be suspicious that somebody at Hasbro was looking at Bakugan and thinking, yeah, you know what, we need to do that. We need a Bakugan. Can we have Bakugan blaster? We want a Bakugan blaster. Can somebody give me a Bakugan blaster? I want a Bakugan blaster. So we got Bakugan blaster. So now he is a recolor of Soundwave, who was also released for the Fall of Cybertron video game, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So there. But nonetheless, yeah, slight retooling because the weapons are different and the head's different. But other than that, you know, they're really very much the same. Same play gimmicks. But yeah, so the person at Hasbro probably said, I want a Bakugan Soundwave, and by the way, make a Bakugan blaster at the same time. When did Richard Nixon start working at Hasbro? When did that happen? I don't know. All I do know is that Bushman Brown is here. So a toast to Bushman Brown. So welcome, Bushman Brown, and Joy, say hi to Bushman Brown. You know, you don't have to be shy. Everybody gets toasted here. See, it's funny because before I was toasting Joy over and over again, and now I'm acting like she doesn't toast any. I don't. Oh, we kid here. Anyway, so let's go ahead and we're looking at Steeljaw here, and you know, for what he is, I like him. He is what he is. You just kind of have to. You kind of have to just ignore what they had to do with this in order to make him do what he does. And so let's just set him aside momentarily. Actually, before I get into the other cassettes, I really should... I should probably transform Blaster. Because, you know, I mean, this is supposed to be about Blaster. I'm talking about his cassettes, but it's supposed to be about Blaster. So we got Blaster here, and actually, even though I'm doing that thing again where I'm looking at the wrong view screen, but there he is, and I'm gonna pull back because I'm gonna need to be pulled back. Yeah. See, I'm pre-planning. I'm pre-planning this shot, and I'm gonna have to put the robot there. It's probably going to stand like yay tall, so we'll just make a little room there, and then I'll grab him, change the view, and voila, we're gonna take... So in the vehicle mode, this is just noteworthy. So you've got this cassette door chest. That's really what it is. You know, they've just kind of aped the design of the cassette door from the Gen 1 figure, and then it's on this double hinged linkage here, and it comes out at an angle. But see, the underside here is just empty. There's just nothing going on here, and that's fine. You know, I don't really like how hollow that is. It's a minor criticism. I'm just pointing it out so that you know that I know that it's there. And if that really bugs you, it's not like, hey, Clay, you're kind of glazing over stuff. There's a big open chasm under there. Okay, I'm pointing out the big open chasm. Also, you can do that. It makes these forks, these forklift looking things in the front look a little bit weird, but you could do it. And then he's like that. Also, so you can, so the way that you transform it, I'm gonna start, but I'm not gonna complete it entirely. You pull the legs out here, and you pull the legs out here. And notice how this complicated shape here, just, it fits so nicely against the arms there. I really like that. And then the lower torso here, or the crotch, is on this hinge that swings around like this. Now, here's what you can do. And what's funny is in the Fall of Cybertron video game, I remember the fight with Soundwave. And he would transform throughout that fight, and he would turn into not an SUV, he would turn into a thing sort of like this. And there was a smaller version that actually did this a lot better, but this one kind of does it too. So he would turn into a Cybertronian boombox thing that looked sort of like that. And then he would sit there and go, and, you know, you'd fight with the cassettes, and then he would turn back into a robot, and you'd fight him as a robot, and he kept transforming. But he never turned into his vehicle mode during that entire fight. So you had this undocumented Cybertronian boombox. That's the second time I've said it. That is the second time that I've said it. So, you know, that's one, and that's two. So you had that undocumented mode that this one doesn't really do that well. The smaller version of Soundwave did it. I don't think that they did a smaller version of Blaster. They didn't do a smaller version of Blaster. I do have the smaller version of Soundwave, but they didn't have a smaller version of Blaster that did that. But you know, this one sort of does it. It's sort of. Nonetheless, let's continue on to his robot mode. So when you bring the legs out from the back, instead of wrapping them around the side to make it look like a, you know, one of those, you bring them down and you bring the feet forward just like this, and then you're going to you know, the wheels start like this when it's in vehicle mode. You're going to rotate these panels down, and they're going to click in, and it's a nice click. It's a good definitive click. So, you know, there you got the legs, and that's the lower half of the body. And then we have the wheels in the front. They just kind of spread out like that. And then we can take the arms. They're going to lift up and pull out. And then there's a fist in there. There's a fist in there. Just right here. There we go. So there's the fist. And we're going to do that again. We lift up and we bend at the elbow. And then there's a fist in there. Maybe there. It's. I know all you can see is my knuckle, but there's a fist there. And so now you can swing these things, and they just hinge into the back. They don't do anything fancy. They just get out of the way. And then we've got this thing that pulls up and pulls back, and actually you've got this little slip joint here that you can do if you want to take that down and then just put it kind of against his back like that. You've got these little things which cover the head, so these are just on hinges. They attach to the arms. Then the arms pull down, and notice these little linkage pieces right here. It's kind of a double joint on each side, so each shoulder is going to come up. Oh, I hit the button and made his door open. That's embarrassing. Whoops. Whoa, don't let that happen in public. So there, you just move that up like that, and then you're going to close that around the back of the shoulder, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to move that joint up against the body, and then we're going to close this against the back of the arm. We can now rotate the arms around, give the bicep a twist so that he has arms, and he has a head, and that. And now there's no little click here. So his wrists can go up and down, which, it's another point of articulation, which is fine, but it is very easy to just accidentally push them backwards and have them kind of bury themselves inside there, and then you're fishing for them again. But there he is, and then he's got his door here that opens up, and that opens up the chamber. And so this is a nice deep chamber. You can actually fit 2 data disks in here, and then this thing just sticks out the back. So let's go ahead and let's get eject. He's the blue one, because black looks back, and that's rewind. Because rewinding goes backwards. So, black goes back, and that's rewind. See? That mnemonic trick. And this is the blue one, so this is eject. And see that one, he holds himself, he's a disc. He's just a disc. He holds himself in, a little bit, when I think of a data disc, I think of like a CD. And certainly, like, the original cassettes were very thin. I feel like as data discs, these would be cooler if they were thinner. If they were like half the thickness, I feel like that would be really cool. But you'd never get that automatically transforming gimmick in a disc that's half of this thickness. I mean, there's just too much going on there. So I understand why it's this thick. It's because they want that auto transforming gimmick. But I think that I would like this disc better as a whole. At least this as an alt mode, I would like it better if it were thinner. It's a cylinder. It's a can of tuna. We could just relabel it, like put Charlie the Tuna on here, or maybe Skybite the Tuna on here. You could easily change that so that it turns into to Beast Wars Charlie the Tuna. I don't know. So anyway, this goes in here. You put it in there, and we'll just. It's a little tight, but there we go. And then we've also got Sunder. Sunder is a bird, and he turns into a thing. And let's see. Oh, okay. So I thought I was getting a message from my ear or from my finger, but my finger says, shut up and just keep talking about Blaster. So anyway, we got Sunder. He's a bird, and we're going to put him in here. There we go. And, oh wow, is there enough room for a third one in there? Is there? Because it looks like there's just not quite enough room for a third one. I'm going to see. I'm going to try. And if I end up getting my toys stuck in Blaster forever, you saw it here first. So let's go ahead and take Ramhort, and we'll put it. Oh, I think he's gonna fit. So 3 guys. Let's come on. Yes. 3. You can fit 3 in here. That's more than 2. That is 3. I know you're thinking, why is he doing 3 that way? Normal people do 3 this way. All my life I've done 3 this way. My hands are weird. So, anyway, a message from the Machiavellic. So I was looking into the origins of the nicknames for money, and it's often based on things people traded for. Bread, clams, cob, bucks, skin, and buckskin and others. Clams, cob, bucks, cob, bucks, bucks, Bumbucks. Thank you, Machiavellic. we got there. We got there. Bumbucks. Bumbucks. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. That's a bum box right there. So, yeah. Oh, wait here. Yes. So this is a bum box. There we go. Bumbox! There we go. And I just said it like 34 times, so here we go. A toast to joy! Alright, so we fit 3 guys in there. And as I was commenting before, these guys are fat. So that in itself is pretty impressive. Now you end up with a big stick sticking out of the back of Blaster here. And now personally, I guess it does that, or maybe it does that. I think that I would rather it be kind of up like that, maybe, or like that. You know, so, I don't know. This is a little bit awkward, but you've got 3 guys in here, and then ideally you use this to deploy them. So let's go ahead to the other camera. Here, we're gonna try and do this. I might as well move the little thing out of the way, and let's see if this works. Fingers crossed. Let's find out if this works. So we've got Blaster here, and we're gonna open his door, and then we're gonna start pushing. Wait, I think that I need to adjust my seat. So let's get that out of the way. All right, we're good. Oh, he popped out. Okay, that was good. He popped out, but he didn't quite transform. He just landed. So let's here move out of the way. Move out of the way. So let's see if this works. Oh, look at that! Holy crap, that was cool. Okay, wait a minute. I want to let me do this. Okay, first I need to get the camera to focus on him, because this is worth seeing. So, okay, this is Ramhort, and he looks great, by the way. I mean, that is a little rhino. And his anatomy looks right. I mean, they took everything that they learned by doing Steeljaw, and they said, let's not do that again. And look at him. He looks awesome. He's really cool. I mean, they even got the little hump back there. That they got the horn. The horn is a separate piece. I mean, that's cool. Okay, so here we're gonna transform him back. There. Go back. Okay, this is gonna be so cool. All right. So now I'm gonna put this right there, and I'm going to zoom in. Nope, not that way. There we go. We are zoomed in. All right, let's turn up the exposure just a little bit. Yeah. Okay, nice and bright. Look at that. We got lots of light. Are we ready? Are we ready to watch this happen? This is going to happen. All right. You ready? Are you ready? Here we go. Whoa! That's cool. Oh, I want to do it again, except I want to make sure that he's facing the camera. I feel like it would be better if he were facing the camera. So, all right, there. So, all right, we have him. This time he's facing the camera, and Bam! Oh, that's so cool. That's really neat. That is really neat. I'm so happy with this right now. I think that I'm having more fun with this toy than I ever had before. So there we go. There's Blaster and there's Ramhorn, and he didn't pop out and transform, but pretty close. Let's okay. We got, I think Sunder is next. Let's see if we can get Sunder to do what he's supposed to do. So let's push. Oh! This is so good. This is so good. Did you see that? Oh my gosh. He went boom, and he's like, oh my gosh, it actually worked. That's cool. That is so cool. Oh my gosh. All right. And okay, now this is eject. Let's see if he can eject. There is no way. Just so you know, there is no way that he is going to transform into a standing robot. So just diminishing expectations. He is going to transform into a corpse. He is going to look like a dead robot. Nonetheless, let's push on the back. We're pushing on the back. Oh. Okay, well, that was anticlimactic. We'll tuck his leg in. He had a leg. All right, so here he is. Let's do what we did before, where we zoom in so that we can try and see him do his thing. There. Huh? Oh, he's such a nice powder blue. Actually, he's a little bit darker. I think that I have the exposure turned up a little bit higher than it needs to be in this case, but that's there. And there. That's a little bit truer to life. All right, so are we ready? So this is eject, and he is ejected. And if he had landed on the button, he would have done this. Oh! And yeah, so he doesn't. I mean, he turns mostly into a robot, and then you have to flip out some feet, and you have to put the arms down. And you know, I mean, I'm not going to fault them too heavily for the fact that he's not standing when he comes out. I mean. Let's not be jerks about this. That's still pretty cool. And I got another one. I got one more. I got rewind. See, he's the black one, and if he's black, he goes back, which means it's rewind. See how good that mnemonic device is? So let's go ahead and we'll move him out of the way. Just stay there. Don't put your feet in. I don't need them in. Just there. Just stand now. All right. So we've got him, and let's do it this way. And yeah, he. Oh, now don't be mean. Don't be mean. He's at least lying face up. He's sunbathing. Look at that. He's like, oh, this feels so good. This Cybertronian sun feels so good. Wait a minute. Am I getting thrown into the sun? Is that another one of getting thrown into the sun episodes? Yeah, he's probably getting thrown into the sun. So we'll put out the little feet here. He's got some little feet. We'll put the arms down. And so that is... Did you know that he turns into a disc? Did you know that he turns into a data disc? This is rewind, and did you know that he came out in 2013? So yeah, and then we have eject. Did you know that eject was not packaged with rewind? So So for those who have never read the Transformers wiki on Rewind, it is set up like a trivia page. So anyway, so you've got Rewind, and then we've got. Oh wait! I'm getting a message from my finger, and my finger says, Starhound says, Clay, do any of these characters turn into broom blocks? And Owen Dino says, it's so good to see a nice stream and nice people. This is an amazing time. Thank you, Owen Dino, and thank you, Starhound. Yeah, so let's hit these things in succession. First of all, I got to say broom blocks. I don't even know what broom blocks would be. I'm imagining they're blocks that you use to build a broom. So, toast to Starhound. And Owen Dino, thank you. I'm glad that you're having a good time. Please, we do this, just so that you know, we do these live streams pretty much every Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern United States time. And there's going to be one next week. And oftentimes I produce little videos in between when I haven't been working too much, which I've been working too much lately. Not working on YouTube, working on like my job that pays me money. So, you know, if only I could have been born wealthy instead of so darn good looking. Yeah, right. See, I almost pulled it off. I almost did. All right, so anyway, a toast to Owen Dino. Thank you, sir. I hope that we see you back next week and beyond. So anyway, we've got eject and rewind, and then we've got Ramhort here, and we've got Sunder, and I haven't even really taken time to look at Sunder, so let's try and kind of look at Sunder. Now things seem a little bit overbright, so let's just turn this down a little bit, maybe a little bit more. All right, that's a little bit nicer. You can see the detail on him, and I'm gonna pan back a little bit. And let's go ahead and take these guys out of the background so that the camera knows which thing to look at. And that is Sunder. Sunder's a cool looking bird. You know, that's a cool looking bird. I don't notice feet. Are there feet there? No, there's no feet. But he doesn't need feet. He's a cool looking bird. And he turns into a data disk that's probably much fatter than a data disk should be. But yeah, I like Sunder. I'm digging Sunder. I'm liking, you know, this is cool. I like his colors. I like them molded in detail. And you know, the kind of chubby, like, so this rotates around like this. You tuck the head in, you put this over to keep the head in, and then you close the wings, and that turns him into a disc. And he's actually a pretty good-looking disc. I mean, all of his pieces go together very nicely. So, and of course, I like the sort of circuit board design on top of that. And you know, I'll just have to accept that these data discs are fat. These are fat data discs. These are not laser discs. These are not CDs. They're not DVDs. And they come out of the front of an armored car. So, you know, conceptually, we're kind of mixing things up. That's okay. I'm just going to say that I also really like these little cases that they come with. Look at that. That's cool. That's just a neat little box. And so you can put your data disc guy in the neat little box. It's got an Autobot logo. Looks good. Let's set him aside. Let's take a look at eject here. Eject, you know, but for what they had to pull off and making it auto-transform, he's not bad. He's got arms that move forward. There's not a lot of articulation with these guys. They turn into their forms, and you should be happy when they do so. The feet, I would say that my biggest criticism is the feet, because the feet go all the way up like this. And obviously, if you're doing that, then he can't stand. I really wish that these had been molded in such a way that they would stop where he can stand up. And it's fine. I mean, you've seen that we can get them to stand up, but you see how there's a lot more motion there than there needs to be in order to. So it's just you end up futzing with it to get it into just the right position, rather than having a positive stop. And I feel like that's just one of those things. I think it's probably a little bit of a design oversight. Something that probably on hindsight the designer realized, oops, but it doesn't break the toy. You know, it doesn't make it unplayable. It doesn't even make it not work. It just makes it a little bit more futzy when you're trying to stand them up. But nonetheless, the painted on detail is nice. The molded in detail is nice. He is a nice representation of the original Gen 1 character. In fact, I would say that even with all the extra gobbledygook that's going on in the body in order to make him do that automatic transform, he actually looks better than the Gen 1 character. So, you know, I'm going to say thumbs up from me. So let's go ahead and turn him back into a data disk. And obviously, you know, he starts life with his arms up in a hooray pose. Yay! I'm eject! I get ejected! Yoo-hoo-hoo! And, you know, you can do this, and that's pretty cool. So he's like, woo! I'm eject! And you want to put these back in. And then this is where you start putting things back together. So you're going to fold the arms back, and you're going to hold them in place, and then you're going to swing this whole thing back this way, open up the legs, spread the legs up, and wrap them around here. And with all of these guys, you're just kind of getting everything to go together as much as you can. And then he's got this silver circuit board type design here, which is pretty cool, and he turns into a data disk, and he doesn't look bad. He doesn't look bad. The spring tension makes the gaps want to kind of pull apart a little bit more than Sunder did, but that's fine. That is not a big deal. And now notice that the printing here is silver. So, I mean, if you're concerned about this sort of thing, the Autobot sign on this little box is silver, so he goes in the silver one. Oh, get that back in there. All right, there we go. So we'll just pop that right back in there. And so he goes there, and then we get to Ramhort, who I believe was packaged with... Would he have been packaged with Sunder? I don't know. Let's see. I don't remember which guys were packaged with which guys, but we've got Ramhort here, and you have seen how he goes. So the head, we've got the legs that kind of go here. We're going to start folding the legs in, and then we're going to push the head in just right there, right with the nose, and everything just kind of goes together. And the trick is to get the front legs. This panel needs to overlap the back leg here. So you make sure that goes up there like that, and then everything goes together. Make sure that the tail tucks in, and boom. So you have that, and let's see. I've got more. Oh yeah. So this, I believe, is going to go into this little box. And then, now, what I'm confused about is... So, rewind and Sunder, eject and Ramhort. So, okay. So, eject and Ramhorn. So I bet that Ramhorn goes into a silver. See, my thinking was that I could use the printing here to tell which box it goes on. I think that I am mistaken, because I'm guessing that these guys would have had the same kind of box. So I'm going to put them in that kind of a box. And then we have Rewind. Did you know that Rewind, when you put the arms up, did you know that with Rewind, you put the feet in, and then you close the arms behind him, and you swing the body around here, and this is going to go like up over the head. And we need to pivot these. There we go. And now it's going to go up over the head. And that's just going to swing around like that, and everything's going to tuck together. And there he is. There he is. Cool little... he looks good. Honestly, you know, they did 2-color printing here to get the burgundy and the gold, and I feel like the gold on the black would have been just fine. Like, I think that would have actually been better looking than having the burgundy and the gold. But, I mean, you know, far be it for me to complain about them using extra paint processes. But nonetheless, I'm going to put that in the little box. And so you have these guys there. And then we've got Steeljaw, poor Steeljaw, who will not hold himself together. We're just going to kind of mash all these things together. Oh, come on, you can do it, you can do it. Get under there. All right, so, and then we're just going to put that in there and push that out of the way, and there. And so there he is. You can see that he's already trying to transform. He really does not want to hold himself into position. So there we go. And let's pull back. And so that is Blaster, and let's, you know, we've been doing all this stuff. We haven't really taken a look at Blaster in his robot mode. So let's do that before we move on. We'll bring the camera down. Bring the camera down. We'll pull the turntable back and move him. There we go. There we go. We're just looking at Blaster saying, "Hey, dude, you're pretty cool. You're a cool guy. You turn into an SUV, and you're red and silver and stuff, and well, kind of a sort of pewter color or something. But nonetheless, let's turn the there. We'll turn down the exposure. We're getting a little bit washed out on the front, but it's a white Autobot symbol on a yellow chest. That's a rough combination. That's a little bit hard to look at. Let's go ahead and zoom in so that you can really appreciate the detail on this guy, because he's got some nice detail. His robot mode, admittedly, is a bit awkward looking. You know, you see the wheels that are back here, and they're just kind of hanging out. You've got this, you know, all this stuff that's happening in the back. You could put that up there if you wanted to sort of get things out of the way. And of course, if he's loaded up with data disks, then this thing's going to stick out the back a lot further. And you just have to own that. I mean, the fact that they came up with an ejection system that allows him to automatically deploy his little data disk army, and the fact that he can hold 3 of them, I'm willing to concede the ejection pin sticking out the back of the body. You know, it's a feature, not a flaw. So you can go with that. But nonetheless, it does add to an overall bit of an awkward robot mode. But not too bad. I mean, I don't think that it's too bad. He's got a lot of nice detail in the chest. He's got a very nice head sculpt. Let's go ahead and zoom in on the head. You know, he looks happy. Yeah, I feel like he's like, hey, you know, I'm doing good. I'm turned into an SUV. I got armor. I got data discs. I'm a guy. I'm feeling good. And you can see that that they even went to the trouble of having his trigger finger molded like this, so that presumably he can sort of do the Soundwave. Wait here, gotta move the camera here, so that he could sort of do the classic Soundwave pushing his own button thing, and that's cool. You know, I'm digging that. So let's see if we can get the head in focus. There we go. So that's pretty neat. I like the leg designs. He's got he's got nicely shaped legs, and of course he's got these big fenders with the rims on the legs. I think that it works as a whole. It's a decent looking form, and he's got very skinny thighs. He's got weird proportions, but overall the design does kind of hold together. He's got big shoulders, he's got some neat angles on him, but everything is kind of consistent with his form. There's nothing about him that sticks out as being divergent and being visually clashing. He's he's based off of a Cybertron toy, and or no, he's not based off of a Cybertron toy. But he is doing the thing. So that is Blaster, and I didn't realize it. I did not realize it, but it's already 10:35. We've only gotten through a few of these guys, and I got a bunch more. So, I did not expect this to be as long of a live stream as it is, but it is not the first time that we have bitten off a topic that needed to be done in multiple parts. So, with that being said, before we go into the next sets of blasters, and that there are more coming, I think that we are going to we're going to wrap things for tonight, and then we will do a part 2 version maybe in like 3 weeks, maybe like after we have the new studio, or I'll tell you what. Let's tentatively say that we're not doing a live stream after next week's live stream. Like, because we want to, like, next week is April 1st. And then we want to do, we're doing, the Godzilla will be for the new studio, and then we can do part 2 of Blaster following the Godzilla live stream. So that I'm going back and forth with my production manager, my lovely production manager, whom I love deeply. I really like this toy. This toy gets a thumbs up from me. I like the discs that come with them, that they're actually really cool. And oh my gosh, Fetch Beer made it here at the very last minute, so a toast to Fetch Beer. Welcome, Fetch Beer. You came just in time to see me try to awkwardly wrap things up, because I didn't realize that I was taking so long to talk about Blast. Honestly, so here's the thing. Blaster as a character, as I kind of started out by saying, is one of those characters that everybody knows, and I think everybody feels favorably about Blaster. But at the same time, he is forever in the shadow of Soundwave, and most of his toys are recolors or retools of Soundwave. So I wanted to do a Blaster live stream because he's a character that doesn't quite get the attention that maybe he deserves. And so, we've seen Gen 1 Blaster, which is... he's got his goods and his bads. We've seen Action Master Blaster, which is... and of course, we've seen... we haven't actually seen Universe Blaster, the recolor of Soundwave, because I don't actually have it, but you just imagine it red. There's pictures online. It's a red Soundwave. That's it. And lots of triangles. Awkward robot mode. And then we've got this guy who's kind of awesome. This is a fun toy. These are fun toys. They work together as a set of fun toys. And if you're ever in a retro toy store or you're on eBay or something, you get the chance to get a hold of these for not a lot of money, then you'll probably have fun with them. I have fun with them. So I'll set these guys aside, and with that, but make sure that he has his gun. Yeah, he's supposed to hold a gun. Oh, jeez, I can't. Okay, there. It looks like this when he holds his gun. There. Now you know what it's like when he holds his gun. So, whew! With that being said, that's it. I hope that you've enjoyed this Blaster live stream that has turned out to be part 1 of what I'm expecting to be a 2-part live stream. We are a small channel trying to get bigger, so if you have not subscribed and you enjoyed this, then please subscribe. Click the notification bell so that you know when we're doing these live streams, which typically happen every Friday night, Eastern United States time at 8 o'clock p.m. Also, if you like this, give it a thumbs up. That helps us out a lot. And keep your eyes open for our Short Circuits videos, which are short format videos, usually taking one toy and just doing sort of a show and review. Admittedly, I'm behind. I have a bunch on my slate that I want to complete, and I have not done them yet. I will, though. So, new Final Faction stuff coming, new Transformers stuff coming, and next week it is April Fool's Day. It is April 1st, and we're going to take a look at some very rare and hard to find Transformers toys. It's gonna blow your mind blown. We might even have toys like some rare non-Transformers toys. Actually, we're gonna be there. You'll be like, wow, I didn't even know that existed. So, all right. With all that being said, a toast to Rob. A toast to Brick. A toast to Joy. A toast to Tie Guy. A toast to Collini. A toast to Starhound. A toast to Setoyami. A toast to Nathan. Toast to Connie. A toast to Lyric. A toast to Cadence. A toast to Angry Vikings. A toast to Christopher Remley. A toast to the Machiavellic. A toast and a welcome to Owen Dino. A toast to Bushman Brown. And a toast to Fetch Beer. And of course, a toast to Monica, the lovely and talented, without whom none of this would be possible. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Clay, and I am telling all of you, yes you, to keep it Retrobot! Woo! Who knew there was that much blaster to blast at you? But we have a lot of blaster to blast at you. And we'll get more blaster to blast at you. Because that's what we do. We blaster at you. It's blasting. It's a blaster. The blaster thing is... It's a live stream about blaster. I need to go to bed.